welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. How's everyone doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend. Those of you who celebrated the 4th of July, hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I didn't. I don't know. To me, it wasn't much to celebrate. What are we celebrating? That's just what I would like to know. But that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. I won't say anything disrespectful because it's not needed. But at the end of the day, a lot has happened within the last year, the last few months within this country that just like when you always knew something, you always knew history, you always knew the repeated cycles of this, not just this country, but of just things that have happened within the country. And it's like you finally get to that point where it's like, I don't want to be a part of or sit here and celebrate what's going on, because what is there to celebrate, honestly? So I just chose to stay in the house, watch my movies, cook my food, and chill out. That's all I did. But if you had barbecues, if you did the fireworks and the whole thing, I'm glad y'all enjoyed yourself. I'm glad y'all had fun. I wanted to go to the Brooklyn Bridge, but they're talking about they wanted to do tickets and stuff like that, and I was like, more of a reason for me to stay home. Then my homegirl was like, oh, come to Jones Beach and see the fire. No. I just really wasn't in it. I was not in the mood. I wasn't. I don't know. So this episode is a part 2, basically, of last week's episode of the simple things and why, gentlemen, it matters that real women, we really just care about you doing that first. About the whole idea, it was a fly. The whole idea of wanting to do these big grand gestures when it really only takes you communicating, being honest. That I was about to say telling the truth. That is being honest. Duh. And just showing up and being a man of your word. There's a lot of things that are just simple that we want first rather than the grand gestures. But now, ladies, I'm talking to you. Because I said, sometimes it's a two-way street. And I did mention a little bit of that last week. But I'm going to mention it more. And this episode tonight is about ladies. He cannot read your mind either. Healthy relationships require communication from both people. Men shouldn't expect to guess our feelings or decode our silence or fix problems we never verbalize, that we never really speak on. So if we want the emotional maturity from men, we have to model it ourselves, ladies. If you want them to be able to understand you, you have to be able to communicate and say what it is that's bothering you. If we want them to be able to fix something that they may have broken, they may have destroyed, or they may not understand, you have to be able to communicate what the issue is. And I feel like a lot of the times too, we don't speak our truth because we don't want to start an argument, or because we feel like, well, what's the point? You're not going to do this anyway. I realized for myself that going into, and as I was dating, I made it very clear as to what it is that I wanted and what it is that I didn't want. And sometimes, yes, I fell into little traps, like, he can just seeing potential, as we always normally do. But when you get to a point where you're like, okay, enough with the potential. I need facts. I need stats. I need the actual rundown, and this is my requirements, and this is what I need from you, and sticking to it. It's a whole different ball game. But you cannot expect a man to understand you just from the way you look, or small conversations, or, I just like this and that. No. Articulate yourself. What is it that you're talking about? Now, ladies, let me ask you this question first, right? Girl to girl, right? Have you ever been upset with a man because he didn't do something that you never actually told him you wanted? For instance, right? Just hear me out, right? Hear me out. You like flowers. And you assume that the guy that you're dating should give you flowers. But how would he know that you like flowers? Have you ever told him? I like when my man buys me flowers. I like when the guy who is interested in me buys me flowers. Or, you know, something I really, really love that a man does for me is flowers. Just randomly. Just because. Putting it in his mind to know that, okay, she said she likes flowers. She likes these type of flowers. She likes them spontaneously. Not for any real occasion. That's what she likes. But then you get mad at him because, I don't know, it's a random Tuesday and you didn't get any flowers sent to your house, or you're going on a date and he doesn't have flowers in the car. But did you tell him that you like flowers? Yes, I know it would be sweet for him to just do it, but we are in, and if, again, we're being very fucking honest here, we are in a dating world now where both men and women don't know what's real and what's not. And when I say that, I say it because some people do shit just for the aesthetic. They say things just because it looks good on paper. They say it because it looks good on the gram. They just say these things because they're trying to get attention. And I'm not saying that's you specifically, so if it's not you, then let it fly. But if it is you, it applies to you. There are people who just act so superficial online and on the internet that when you see them in person, it's a completely different situation. And no, you don't have to sit here and groom a man to treat you. That's not what we're doing here either. You are basically giving your requirements. You're basically telling them, this is what I expect. And gentlemen, just like I came for the ladies on your episode, I'm going to come for you too on this episode. If she vocalizes what it is she's looking for, and if she's vocalizing what it is that she expects of you, if you just sit back and you are taking all of this in, you should know whether or not this is up to par with what you want or it's not. And if it's not, it's best that you just be honest and say, you know what, I appreciate what it is you're looking for. I hear you and I believe that you deserve that, but I'm not in the position right now to give you everything that you want. And I guarantee you, they will respect you more for being honest than leading them on for something that you really wasn't down for. I promise you. The ones that have little attitudes about it and they try to make a whole big... I can't talk for them because I don't know. They a little delulu. I don't know what to tell you. But for the real women who are out there that really just want the honesty when it comes to the dating and what they expect, and they're vocalizing that to you, and they need that, not a need, but that's what they would love for you to do. If you could just be honest with them, whether you can or cannot, it will save so much drama and so many issues and so much heartbreak and so many crash outs. I promise you. But ladies, back to you. I hope you answered the question. Have you ever been upset with a man because he didn't do something that you never actually told him you wanted? Think about that. So let's get into the episode. My first thing is this, ladies. Let's stop expecting mind reading, okay? Here's a little pointer, and this is just from me hearing this from grown, mature men, right? Not that many that I know, but a few. Men notice different things than women. And I think that's pretty obvious that we can say that that's true, right? What seems obvious to us isn't always obvious to them. Hinting on something is not communication. Silence is not communication. And being passive aggressive Baby, it is not communication. I'm telling you that right now. It's not. And I'm saying all of this with all the love. I'm putting a heart in the air and I'm holding your hand as I'm saying this. All three of these things, the hinting, the silence, the passive aggressiveness, is everything that I have done. And it got me nowhere but a fucking argument all the time. Because why would you, if you take it like this, right? Would you want him to hint to you that he wants something from you? Or would you want him to just be direct and just say, well, all right, bro, just say that. That's what you wanted. If he gives you the silent treatment, or he just doesn't say anything at all, but he just gives you a look, are you going to look at him like, are you okay? Like, do you need to go to the bathroom? Or like, are we okay? Or do you expect him to vocalize his problems or his requirements or whatever the case may be? Being passive aggressive, while some of them say that they like that shit, they like the toxicness and whatever whoop-de-woo, that passive aggressive little attitude thing, it starts to get tiring. And they may or may not tell you that, but it will end up being tiring, and they probably will not, or probably will end up in an argument. So these are like 3 questions that I kind of came up with when it came to this particular part, this particular segment. Where did we learn as women that expressing our needs makes us seem needy? Like, did that come from men? Which I personally feel like it came from men not being able to accommodate or live up to the standards of what it is that we want, and then say that, oh, it's needy. It's not needy. It's just something that we wouldn't need from you because it's something that we require. Just like how it's something that you, gentlemen, require of us, something that you need from us to make you feel secure, to make you feel wanted, to make you feel loved, to make you feel appreciated. It's the same thing. So I'm confused as I'm sitting here scratching my head how it makes us seem needy when we give out our requirements, but when you do it, it's not. Also, ladies, are we setting men up to fail? Like, are we putting these requirements or these boundaries or these walls up too high that it just can't happen? And I'm not saying that it should be easy. I'm not saying that it should be like, well, let me not say easy either. I'm trying to think of like the best way to say this. In all honesty, the mind reading and expecting a man to basically know what it is you want is childish as fuck. I'm going to just say that. Stop sitting here making it seem like they are supposed to know off rip what it is you want. Why would they know that? They don't know you. On top of that, the relationships or the people that they may have encountered prior to you may have been toxic as hell. That just like how you just came out of toxic situations and dealt with men who were so immature, you've done shut down. Well, the hell, they done shut down too. So now it becomes a thing of, okay, so you both have to work through it while also doing your own personal work, because that's also something that I feel like is a requirement too, that can prevent all this mind reading and guessing games and charades and shit, is doing your own individual work. But that's a topic for another night. The whole thing is this: unspoken expectations become unfair disappointments. Drops mic. Number 2, say what you actually need. Talk about it. So, for example, instead of saying, I don't care, say, I actually want you to spend more time with me. Instead of saying, oh, it's fine, I got it, I'll do it. Or, it doesn't bother me, it's fine, I'm good. Say, no, that actually did bother me, and I actually do feel a way. It hurt my feelings. Instead of saying, Well, you should already know this. Like, I'm confused. Like, why don't you get that? Like, are you dumb? If you're a New Yorker, say this is actually important to me and it makes me feel like X, Y, and Z when you do it. Because why is vulnerability so difficult? Why are we such in fear of rejection? Why are we such in a fear of looking too emotional? Women are emotional. We're emotional. So be it. So be it. If you know the woman who you're dating, if you know your girlfriend, you know your wife, you know your fiance, you would know how to handle it. You would know that sometimes if she's getting too emotional or she's getting too out of hand, you hug her. It's all right, babe. Come on, talk to me. What's going on? What's the problem? You settle her mind. You ease her mind. But ladies, you also have to be able to be emotional. You have to be able to tap into that. I'm not saying you gotta cry and you gotta snot coming down your nose and the whole yelling and screaming. No. Being emotional doesn't necessarily mean having to react like you're all in your feelings. No. Being emotional can just be you saying exactly like what I said. That actually did hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not gonna lie. You not calling me or you not speaking to me when you could have just sent a text message that hurt my feelings, and it made me feel like you're not interested. A whole day of not speaking to me is very weird. Whatever it may be, however you're feeling, don't just brush it under the rug. Don't just sit here and put it underneath the table. Say what you're feeling. Be open to being vulnerable. And if it seems like it's becoming too much, ladies, cut him off. Enough. Exit. Get out if it's becoming too much. If you have to constantly vocalize what it is, or verbalize, I keep saying vocalize. You constantly have to verbalize what it is you're saying and what you need, and it's not being met. It's okay to just walk out. It's okay to back up and just say, you know what, I'm gonna leave this here and I'm gonna let you do you. It's okay to do that. Now, this third point, I was a little about not testing him. And I just feel like on both ends we test each other, like men test women, women test men, just to see like what their vibe is and what type of vibration are they on, what type of energy are they on. But I guess for us women, we create these tests like, let's see if he'll remember, let's see if he'll call, will he notice, is he gonna respond, is he gonna just bring flowers or something, is he just gonna send that? And I guess in a sense, healthy relationships aren't built on secret exams. They're just built on conversations and communicating. But in the same sense, are we giving them too much control by allowing there to be a test? Like, are we disrupting our own nervous system when we decide to put them to these tests? Like, okay, I'm not going to call first. I'm going to see if he calls. Okay, I'm not going to text first. I'm going to see if he texts. All right, I texted already, so I'm going to wait to see if he does it. If he responds back to me. I said something already. Let me see if he'll say something to me again. Instead of just doing it and then vocalizing why. Verbalizing. I hear it go again. Communicating why whatever it was that didn't happen either bothered us or made us feel away or whatever it may have done to us. Is the testing, I guess, lady, that's a question that we can ask ourselves. Is this testing that we do disrupting our own nervous system? Because we end up having anxiety, we end up having all of these thoughts, we end up thinking the worst, we end up thinking the what if, and maybe sometimes it is just, okay, maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he's just working and we're overthinking it. Maybe he is playing ball or he's playing a video game. I don't know. Maybe he's on a work call. Whatever it could honestly be. But do we give ourselves anxiety when it comes to doing these tests and constantly testing a man? I don't know. See, this is why I can't really speak on this too much, because I personally feel like we have also gotten to the point where, as women, when we like someone, we end up putting our all into it a little bit too much. And I'm saying we because I've done the shit too. So I'm not outing nobody right here. I'm speaking from experience, but I'm also speaking from what I see from friends, family, people who I know, whatever the case may be, right? Do we put too much emotion into it too fast instead of just letting it build to create the buildup to where we feel like we have to test them instead of just letting the shit flow? Good. It's a good question. I don't know. I just came up with it. The next one is this. And I'm saying this calmly because it is true. Appreciation goes a long way. Yes, ladies, we have to give the man some type of praise for what he's done. I mean, let's be honest. We really do, though. I mean, honestly. Sometimes we become so focused on what he's not doing that we honestly overlook what he is doing. He checks in every morning. He makes time after work. He apologizes. He listens. He shows up consistently. Sometimes we don't allow for the small things. Just like from the last episode. The simple things that we want first, we don't always take into appreciation first either. And I think it's admirable that we look into that and see why we don't say thank you for X, Y, and Z. Outside of the materialistic things, outside of the grand gestures, outside of the flowers and everything else. If he has these things where he'll call you, he'll send a voice note, he'll text you in the morning before he wakes up or while he's getting ready. He makes time after work to either FaceTime you, come see you, send you food, send you money, whatever it is, right? Something like that. He apologizes when he's wrong. He apologizes if he didn't do something right. He listens to everything that you're saying, and then he works on doing the opposite, or he completely does a whole 180 change on what it is that you're asking of him. And he just like constantly he's just always there for you. It is okay to give him his recognition and to give him his props for doing that, because you have men who don't, and we all know that. We all know there are men out here who don't do that shit at all. They barely listen. They barely even apologize. So when you have a man who do these things and does it just without a problem, make sure you acknowledge that. Make sure you show your appreciation. Make sure you tell him that you appreciate it. Don't let perfection become the enemy of your progress. It's going to keep you in the back. Ooh, now this one. Give him the opportunity to love you again. Now, child, when I tell you this one here, allowing a man, a good man at that, to love you after all the hurt that you have been through is extremely hard. It is. It is like you having to tell the wall that you build, I need you to come down. And literally taking brick after brick after brick down, one at a time, and also allowing him to take those bricks down because he sees that there are bricks there that need to be removed. A good man wants to succeed, but he can't meet expectations he doesn't know exist. You have to give him the blueprint, like I said earlier. Don't make him guess. The communication, it isn't control, it's giving clarity. Allowing him to understand, okay, why is this wall up? What has happened in her past? And if he's a mature man, he's going to use the small details that you should give him as what you will no longer put up with, and also what you, I guess, dealt with or survived. And I'm not saying you have to go into full detail. You don't. But if the question comes up, well, what happened? Like, why is this wall up? Where? I want to love you correctly. I want to be there for you. I want to show you that I am this man that I am constantly showing you as I'm doing all the things that you speak of or don't even speak of, because you have men who just do the whole grand gesture and that's just in them, that's in their nature. But you have men who also would love to treat you that way, and they don't know if they should because you're so closed off. I say that to my friends often, something that my mom has always said to me: no matter how much hurt that you have been in, make sure you keep your heart soft, because you're going to end up with someone who is going to be the person who's going to hold on to that soft heart, that's going to know how to handle that soft heart. But you can't expect him to meet you or to see you or for God to give you this man if you are so closed off that you can't even get the damn wall down. You know what I mean? Like, if the wall is literally cemented from layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and there's no way that shit is coming down. There is no way that a man who wants you can want or love you correctly, I should say, when you don't allow him to show you that he can bring that wall down. And that you can also, or you're safe to bring it down with him. You have to give him the opportunity to show you. And this honestly is after, the comfortability, the consistency, obviously, the communication, obviously, the things that, again, that you will speak to him about, that you expect of him, and he does it, right? He's doing it consistently. He's giving you everything that you've asked for. If he's doing all of that, the wall should be coming down. There's no reason why we're 6 months in, the man done asked you to be his girlfriend, and the wall is still fucking up. Sweetheart, you're pushing him away. Because if he's trying to bring the bricks down and you still putting the damn bricks back up on the wall, he can't love you. And he will walk away. And you'll be the one looking like Boo Boo the Fool, because you didn't allow for a good man to love you right. And don't get me wrong. This is only for the men who are actually doing what it is you require and what it is that's on your list. And that's another thing. Your list has to be, I was going to say acceptable, but that's not what I wanted to say. Your list has to be doable. It has to be a realistic list. And something that I think that some of us may have a problem with is the accountability. Ladies, we also have to take accountability for the shit that we do, for the things that we say, for how we act sometimes. It is not okay, baby. We have some work to do. We do. I'm speaking from experience, y'all. We have work to do. So let me ask you this, right? You can ask yourself this, honestly, but here's some things, right? Do you shut down instead of speaking? Whenever there is an argument, a disagreement, whatever the case is, you just go silent and you don't want to talk. Okay, here's another one. Do you expect him to chase you every time? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yep. Do you say, nothing's wrong, I'm fine, don't worry about it, when everything is actually wrong? Okay. And do you punish him after he apologizes? Like, do you keep bringing it up after he said he was sorry, he made it up to you, he sees where he is wrong, and then somehow 3 hours later you're bringing it up again? Or, a day later you're bringing it up again, or 2 days later, a week later you're bringing it up again. But he apologized. Multiple times he apologized. Okay. Yeah. I'm coming for you. Exactly. Yeah. I know you feel away, but I'm asking these questions, boo. Just hear me out, right? And here's the last question. Are you communicating clearly or hoping he'll figure it out? Yeah. Yeah. So if you answered yes to basically everything, baby, you're the problem. You're the problem, honey. Because if you're shutting down instead of speaking, how are you going to resolve anything? How are you going to get past whatever the problem is if you just shut down and don't speak at all? It doesn't have to be a yelling match. It can literally be you and him in the car, in the house, at the park, on the phone, whatever. Having a conversation and listening to each other, listening to hear, not listening to respond, what it is they're feeling and what it is you're feeling. Do you expect him to chase you every time there is a miscommunication, or if there's something that he doesn't do right? Do you expect him to chase you every single time and you just like, whatever? Oh, no, I'm sorry, come. Do you expect that every time too? What about the whole, like I said, nothing's wrong, I'm fine, and you are fucking pissed at something that he may have done or something that was said that you really that did not sit right with you? And this does not have to be, I will reiterate, this does not have to be a yelling match. You don't have to have a disagreement where it's so bad that the both of you are going neck and neck with each other. It's uncalled for. You don't have to. You can literally talk like this and say exactly what the problem is. If after he apologizes for what he did and you're still bringing the shit up, you're the problem. You cannot sit here and expect someone to apologize and then you keep talking about it 3, 4, 5 days later, next week. If that's the case, baby, break up. See, this is my thing. I always knew I couldn't deal with the cheating, right? This is just a very extreme example, but an example nonetheless. I knew I couldn't deal with cheating from the beginning. And you guys have, well, if you've been around these last 2 years, you already know some of my stories of my exes. But my last ex, who had cheated on me, I tried to stick around. I tried. I was like, you know what? Okay, let's see. I've never done it. I do love him. I do care about him. We're moving in this type of direction. Let me see if I can. Baby, when I tell you I kept bringing that shit up every 2 to 3 business days, that's how I knew, yeah, girl, you can't do this. It's not in you to stick around after somebody disrespects you. I got up out of there because I couldn't do it. I knew. Like I said, I always knew. But that solidified it. Like, yeah, nah, you not that type. That's just not you. You're not that type of woman. You can't stick around for that. Because I kept bringing it up even after he apologized. Did I think his apologies were mediocre? I did. But even if they were grand, I still wouldn't believe you. Still wouldn't trust you. So there's that. And then, are you communicating clearly, or are you hoping that he'll figure it out? Again, Speaking to him and letting him know, hey, listen, you see what you just did right there? You see how you did X, Y, and Z? You see how you didn't respond when I asked you to do this? You see how when I asked you to do that, you did this? You see how when I said da-da-da-da, I don't like that. And I'm letting you know that way it doesn't happen again, but I really need you to do blah, 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 blah. Speak up. Speak up. So here's the thing, ladies. Yes, we know men have flaws. We know. Trust me, child, we know. But healthy love isn't about one person carrying the emotional load. It's two emotionally mature adults choosing honesty over assumptions. Gentlemen, let me be clear. Listen when she speaks. She's telling you exactly what it is she needs. She's not sitting here rambling about nonsense. She's giving you the blueprint. She's giving you her blueprint. Don't compare her blueprint to the last girl's blueprint, to the last girl's, to the last girl's, to the one who never gave it to you. She's telling you what she requires of you. And if you cannot live up to that, it is okay for you to say that. Because she will have more respect for you if you were to just say no than it would be of you to just lead her on into saying, yeah, I can, and then you never do. And then you want to know why she crashes out. But ladies, it's not okay to always crash out either. You have to know when it's time to back up. You have to know when it's time to remove yourself from the disrespect or what you're not getting, period. From the nonchalant love, from the miscommunication to the non-communication, to not being emotionally there, to having to reiterate and constantly remind someone of how they are or what they need to do that is a requirement of yours. You have to know when to back up. But we also need to know, ladies, how to speak so he has something to listen to. It doesn't mean you have to yell. All that yelling, that shouting, that loud rah-rah, they don't hear you when you do that. And honestly, speaking to them like this gets to them more than all the yelling and screaming does. They hear you more like this, and they know how much you mean business when you talk like this than you do with the whole yelling. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because when you probably get to that point, when you really reach that point, you may go up a few octaves. You might. You just might. But initially, the conversation needs to be had or needs to be said. You speak like this. You let it be known. You tell them what it is. And this is my last chance letting you know that. So, what can we possibly do this week to change our narrative, ladies? Instead of assuming anything, and this is if you're talking to anyone, if you're dating somebody, if you're in your relationship, you're married, whatever the case may be, right? Instead of assuming, communicate. Instead of hinting, just ask. Instead of testing him, just teach him a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit. Give him a little bit. Instead of saying, he should know. He should know me. We've been dating this long. He should know what I like. Try saying, can I tell you what would make me feel loved or make me feel better? I like when you do X, Y, and Z. I like when I have blah, 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 blah. You may be surprised how willing someone is to meet your needs when they know exactly what they are instead of having to guess. Now, ladies, I know this was probably not the best episode that you wanted to listen to. I know it's not. We don't like being called out on our shit. I know we don't. But sometimes we have to be called out on our shit. Because sometimes we are the problem. Sometimes we are the issue. And while, yes, it may be them most of the time. Let me not say that. While, yes, it could be them, it can also be us. There are things that we need to change in order to make a relationship healthy. And that is what the remedy is all about. To figure out a middle ground that we can come to get us to where we want to go as friends, as lovers, as individuals? Where is the middle ground? So if you guys like this episode, make sure you guys like, comment, and share. Make sure you guys share it with everybody. Share it with everyone. The second episode for the Her 30 journey will be at the end of the month, so stay tuned. I got the spot already. Just gotta let my co-host know. And I am so excited for that one. We'll probably do 2 episodes because that would be a really bomb. Those 2 episodes are really bomb. I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned to that. I hope you guys have a great week. It's going to rain all week, but you know what? It's okay because after this damn heat wave we had, I'm alright. I'm alright with a little rain, to cool off the city. But I love you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great night. Whatever happened into today, leave that shit into today. Don't bring it into tomorrow. Love you guys for listening. I will see y'all next week. Bye.